Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining us for our new Edward J. Lewis II Lawyers in the Classroom program series. For those of you who aren't aware, the Chicago Bar Association's Edward J. Lewis II Lawyers in the Classroom program has existed for over 30 years. The program, which was originally a part of Constitutional Rights Foundation Chicago, involves me, Tiffany Watson, director of the program and former teacher and administrator, placing attorneys in second through eighth grade social studies and social sciences and literature classrooms to teach students about the U.S. Constitution, their constitutional rights, our legal system, and their rights and responsibilities under the law. Now, under the auspices of the Chicago Bar Association's 501c3 since 2019, the Lawyers in the Classroom program has continued to flourish. Attorney volunteers are partnered with teachers to provide students with grade level lessons and knowledge based on real life experiences, help them develop their critical thinking skills, and offer young people an opportunity to interact with a variety of positive role models. The purpose of this series is for you to learn more about our participants in the Lawyers in the Classroom program, i.e., our attorney volunteers and teacher partners, while also learning about what they've experienced during their Lawyers in the Classroom visits. So today we're speaking with one of our new attorney volunteers, Mr. Chris Verdugo. Christopher is an associate at Troutman Pepper and is in the firm's insurance and reinsurance practice. Chris, we are so happy to have you here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so just to get things started, why did you decide to be a part of the Lawyers in the Classroom program?
Yeah, just first off, I just want to say, Tiffany, thank you so much for organizing this, and I hope people know how much work you do in organizing everything. And just thank you so much. But so I had two reasons for kind of wanting to participate in Lawyers in the Classroom. One is a more general, thinking about my role as a new attorney. I was recently licensed this year, and we have a professional role as an attorney, but I also feel like we have a civic role in the community. And so kind of how to give back to the community in ways that could, contribute and kind of bring light to issues or just passing knowledge to younger people. So when I found out about Lawyers in the Classroom, I was extra excited because personally for me, I wanted to participate in something to show young people who maybe look like me and actually who don't look like me, that, there's not one prototype lawyer, and that kind of give kids exposure to different types of lawyers and different people who can be lawyers, and just kind of hopefully students can use that as motivation and they can become attorneys too. So
Yeah,
those are kind of my two reasons.
that's such a good point. I mean, so many students know about criminal law, right? And they don't know about insurance law, entertainment law, reinsurance law. They don't know about the different types of law. And many students may have never met an attorney before. So it's really important what you just mentioned.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I didn't know any attorneys growing up. The attorneys I knew were on TV, like Judge Judy. Like, you get that you get that one experience of what an attorney should look like. So I think, and maybe hopefully students were like, oh wow, this is someone who looks like me. This is an attorney as well. So kind of getting that representation out there is really important. I think for me as a young attorney, I definitely want to see more diversity in the legal field, and I really want to contribute to growing that. So hopefully, like some programs like this can, help.
Excellent. And so you this was your first year being a part of the program. What do you believe are the benefits of the Lawyers in the Classroom program?
Well, there's a ton of benefits for sure. I definitely there's benefits for the attorney, for the students. I say for the attorney, you get to collaborate with the community, which I kind of mentioned earlier. I think that's really important for every attorney to want to try to give back to the community. We're newer to Chicago. We moved here when I came to law school, and I feel like I want to kind of get integrated and more in tune with the community's needs while I'm working professionally and kind of give back. And then you also have the students who are obviously the most important in this series and with the Lawyers in the Classroom. So students, they can learn about the legal system. So some of the lessons we were able to kind of let them know what a plaintiff is and what a defendant is and how the trial system works. What I really think was the most beneficial thing, and it was also for the students, is kind of the program is designed to make students critically think. And I thought that was so great because there are a lot of programs that are legal in schools, right? They teach kids constitutional rights and how to like plead the fifth. And while those kind of have value, I do see the value in those. I really thought this was a unique program that was like, no, we're going to actually kind of like treat students like you can critically think about these issues. It shouldn't just be like these attorneys that are graduated law school, like what do, and I had a fourth grade class. So what do fourth graders think about like the First Amendment? And it's not just like no, reading off like, oh, Congress shall not pass no law abridging the freedom of speech. It's more of like, here's a real issue. How do we handle that? And that was like a really cool part of which I think was the most important a piece of the lawyers in the classroom was the critical thinking aspect of it for sure.
Excellent. Yes, we pride ourselves in having a curriculum that's very hands-on and kind of project-based, and we use cases. And so, yeah, that's such a good point. I'm so glad that you brought that up and that you had those experiences and you saw the students and how they interacted with the curriculum and the lessons while you were with them virtually in the classroom. That being said, did you have any favorite experiences that you want to share? Any highlights from your visits?
Yeah, I mean, each day. So I did 3 lessons with the fourth grade class. Each lesson was great. I think my favorite parts of it was the discourse and debate amongst the students. In particular, we had like being a good witness, which was one of the lessons for the fourth graders, where half of them got to look at a picture and they try to memorize it within 20 seconds, while the other half kind of went to a breakout room and they were the prosecutors, and then they came back and then they had to collaborate amongst each other to figure out what the scene was and what evidence they can gather. And I just love that debate and amongst the students when they were like, oh, I didn't see that. No, you're totally wrong. And, I had the picture pulled up on my side. So I'm like laughing and like on this side, hearing like the debate. But also like, it felt really good. I channeled my like law school professors, like nudging them, like with not necessarily asking them specific descriptions, but like, does anyone remember what the time was? And then someone would be like, oh yeah, there was a clock. And then they would all come together and be like, what? The clock was somewhere around 9 or 10. So just kind of like those moments were really great. And I think I underestimated how much a fourth grade class would actually engage and participate.
Mhm.
I would say like 90% of the students were like raising their hand, ready to go, ready to give their opinion. Some of them with wild, like wasn't even in the fact patterns, but they'd be like, oh yeah, this person like is a professional athlete. And you're like, no, that wasn't really in the fact pattern, but it was just funny to hear that, but kind of how they interpreted the facts and stuff. So that was like my favorite part of the program.
Excellent. It sounds like you really engaged the students. And that's another great piece from both perspectives. The students want to be engaged, and the attorneys want to engage the students. They want to use their expertise along with the lessons to engage the students. So it sounds like a very interactive experience that both of you guys had. So that's awesome. So, yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us about your experiences with the Lawyers in the Classroom program. And thank you again for being a part of the program. And we
No,
look
thank
forward
you.
to you continuing.
I look forward to next year. Hopefully next year, maybe it might be in person and I can actually visit the kids. That'll be great. But Zoom was great. Virtual this year I learned I learned how to present a little bit more on Zoom. It was really great.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Chris. We really appreciate it.